I have never seen anything like Nier Automata before. On the surface, it looks like a sexy robot action fighting game, but the further along you get, you start to peel back the layers, and there are some very complicated and nuanced storytelling elements at play here. Obviously, this is a major spoiler alert. Also, if you haven't played the game yet, please play the game all the way to the bitter end. It's incredible. Nier Automata is not the classic plot-driven narrative that you are probably used to. Not only are there multiple endings that you can find by doing different things, but there are whole sections that you play multiple times as different characters, which all reveal new elements that were not shared with you the previous time you played it. For people who are expecting a standard plot-driven story, this comes off as bizarre. How do you interpret a story that repeats entire sections, or has different endings? What's the real plot of the game? Well, the point of Nier Automata's story is not the plot. It's not about the things that happen during your playtime, the point A to point B. The point of the story is about the theme. The plot is just a tool to explore the theme in different ways. Most stories have a major focus on the plot, or the series of events that drive the characters forward to the conflict and resolution, which makes sense. That's what narratives are all about. It's the story part of the story. Theme, however, is the message of the story that the author wants us to take away. It's the conceptual idea that we need to discuss, usually something philosophical. Theme upstages plot in Nier Automata. What matters is what we took away from the game, not necessarily what happened during it. Nier Automata could have been a classic hero's journey about robot battles, epic adventures, and kick-ass fights, and it would have been fine, but forgettable. Those moments, those sequences, are not the reason people love this game. All of those moments serve a larger purpose. They are all small pieces of the theme, which get spoon-fed to you over time. So, now that I've mentioned it 100 times, what is the theme? This is where we get a little bit into subjective interpretation, which is deliberate from the writers, but I'm understanding the theme of Nier Automata as, what does it mean to be human? To be alive? And the world of Nier Automata, one completely devoid of humans, is the perfect world to explore these questions. And it doesn't just raise these questions in the game, it forces you to experience them in a very meta and personal way. I'll give more detail on that specifically though at the end. Our setting begins as a post-apocalyptic distant future in a human versus alien war, but this is a proxy war. The aliens sent machines to fight their real enemy, so we built androids to fight their machines on the battlefield. Thousands of years have passed, and unbeknownst to our main characters, both the humans and the aliens have all died. We are only left with the androids and the machines, who fight each other for no real reason anymore. The androids that are left have a militaristic hierarchy. They are being lied to. Their command believes that if the androids know the humans are all dead, they will sink into a depression due to their perceived failure, and lose the will to function at all. So they fight under the lie that they can still win this war, and save humanity. Meanwhile, the machines we have been fighting have evolved, and some grew to turn on their alien masters, and killed them. The rest of the machines are programmed to fight, quote, their enemy, meaning the androids now, so that's all they do. Create an endless war neither side can ever win. Despite this conflict, it seems that there is one thing that deep down in their cores all androids, machines, and robots want to do. They all want to be human, or at least emulate humankind the best they can. Any taste or scrap of humanity they can find or adopt, they cling to it, whether they are aware of why they're doing it or not. The androids believe that the machines they fight don't have souls, they don't feel pain, or have memories, so they're not real, not alive. But how can an android, who is just as much as a machine built to serve the needs of their creators, have that opinion? Is that not hypocritical? It's the pot calling the kettle black. Are either side right? Maybe neither, or both. It all happens slowly. We see machines beg us to stop hurting them as we fight them. They fear us, try to escape. They form religions, communities, relationships, wear clothes, but is it ever real? Or are they just mimicking human behavior as some sort of ghost in the machine programming? Pascal is a machine that wants to have a group of machines live in a village peacefully. He teaches the machine children about things like fear and philosophy and life. And this all backfires when, during an attack on the village, the children fear for their lives and end up killing themselves. They died due to the human emotions that he taught them. He blames himself, and Pascal asks us to wipe his memory, or kill him, because he can't live with himself. These are the lifeless machines that the androids slaughter, the ones with no souls, the ones who can't feel. There are also the pod robots that assist you throughout the story. They offer tactical advice and shoot enemies for you, but very slowly they too develop their own personalities and motivations. They take on a humanity of their own. Every system, every machine, robot, android can't seem to help themselves. They all evolve, adapt, slowly becoming more and more human, which forces us to ask the question, what does it mean to be human? And Nier Automata makes us ask this again and again. Which machines succeeded in being human? Which failed? Did any of them succeed? Is this all a meaningless endeavor? The game leaves this question mostly open-ended, and up to the player to think about and come to their own conclusion. It seems to suggest, though, in my interpretation, they all had a small shred of humanity in them, but to find it, they had to resist. They had to fight the ones who controlled them, take their humanity and define it for themselves, forge their own path or die trying. That is freedom. That is real life, to be human. A2 went rogue and is rebelling against her own command. Pascal is a machine that has escaped the network and started their own community. There's the Forest King, who tried to organize human political structure. Adam and Eve are obsessed with learning more about human culture and human death, which is unique to humans. It's something machines can never truly experience. The theme of the game, the theme of rebellion and humanity, echoes in every scene and every major character. The final ending of the game hits the nail on the head in the most intense and personal way possible. The thematic conclusion that only a video game like Nier Automata could achieve. It is something that cannot be watched or read. It is only effective if it is experienced personally. The main characters have all killed each other. The war is effectively lost. We are surrounded by despair, and we see the credits roll. Not the first time we've seen the credits, as we have seen other endings before, but we simply accept this as another dark conclusion to our heroes' tragic stories and are ready to move on. But then we hear a voice. It is the familiar pod program that has been assisting us this whole time, a program that has been slowly caring for us and trying to protect us. It is confronted, just like the players, to accept this ending and move on. It gives Pod, or us rather, the choice to resist. We accept. The credits rewind, and now we are trying to hack them, to fight back against the undesirable ending that was forced to us, that was supposed to contain us. This is no longer a character resisting orders, this is us, the player, taking matter into our own hands to fight back. The credits fight back as well, and they get harder and harder, and eventually you lose. So you try again, and again, failing each time as the punishing game beats you back. Then a message appears. Some encouraging words from a stranger to support you and motivate you to keep going. You fight harder and continue to fail. More messages appear, all signed by other players you have never met, other people who have been where you are, telling you to go on. Keep pushing. You lose again, but now you are offered help from a stranger, someone whose message you saw before, a chance for them to fight at your side. You accept, and they join you, shooting with you, taking bullets for you. You see their name followed by data lost when they eat a hit, but you are not quite sure what that means yet. Eventually, with their help, you succeed, and you manage to change the ending of the game. You watch a cutscene that you made happen, one in which all the main characters that we love have a chance of still being alive, and you found that path yourself. Then the game asks you to leave a message, leave some encouraging words behind for a stranger. Then it asks you if you want to help them fight, to come to their rescue and guide them from an impossible task to a glorious victory. But in order to fight at their side, you need to make a personal sacrifice. It asks you if you want to delete your save data, so that you may help a stranger, just as another stranger helped you get this far. It's a powerful moment. You realize that all the messages you read, all the players who came to your side to help you win, they all sacrificed their game data to help you do that, and now you have the chance to do the same. Some of these people put dozens or hundreds of hours into this game, and they gave it all up to help you, someone they will never meet, so you could experience this ending of the game. Many times in games, books, and movies, the main character is given a chance to sacrifice themselves to save someone else. Sometimes you make that decision for a character in a video game and control that outcome, but it is never your own personal sacrifice. It is never another human, a real-life stranger, that you are saving. To resist control over you and forge your own path, and to help others find their path as well, that's what it means to be human. Nier Automata could have never achieved such a deep and impactful message without all the setup, playthroughs, and then the final ending that brought it all home. It made you experience the meaning of the game on a personal level. It made it as real as possible. You were not making a decision for a character through a screen. This was your decision, your sacrifice. And while I have not personally wiped my data to help a stranger, yet, I plan to after I explore more of the game, catch some minor side missions I skipped, and make that call later, once I feel I have experienced all that I can from the game. Because that is the true way to end this game. It's the human thing to do. My review of the story sits at a mighty 9 out of 10. Overall, I call this game a masterclass in establishing and executing theme. I was blown away by it. The only thing they could have done better is in the delivery of some of the backstories, many of which are very important. They are described in long text readings on a blank screen. If these segments were playable flashbacks, or at the very least cutscenes, that would have made a big improvement. Hell, if they were even narrated on some sort of artistic backdrop, I would have taken that. It's just that the text segments took me out of the game and broke the immersion of what could have been very impactful scenes. I think the execution of the story could have been perfect, but even as it is still commendable and damn near perfect. I had a hard time finding things to critique here. I don't think a game has ever made me feel this strongly about the story before, and it was a pleasure to stream it live with you guys. If you want to watch some edited down gameplay recordings of me playing Nier Automata for the first time, enjoy it on this channel under my gameplay playlist. I will stream the next game I want to review here, directly on YouTube. Subscribe to catch it live and join me in the chat. Also, if you want to watch me play other non-writing focused games on Twitch, and chat with me there as I play with my friends at random times, follow my gaming handle Shogun Damon on Twitch. I'd love to hear from you there. If you want to support the channel, please consider joining me on Patreon so I can continue to put more time into this channel and help it grow. Thanks, and I hope to see you soon. I don't know anything about this game. This is... I know that you play as a attractive android character with swords, and there's robots, and that's the extent of my knowledge.
Origin point of long-range lasers confirmed.
Can't do anything. So why are they not dodging?
11 feet down.
Not
Our
very
HO229
fast.
cancelers are ineffective.
Look at this. That's all you gotta do. I'm very skilled.
We need you to rendezvous with Unit 9S and begin gathering data on the local terrain.
Understood.
Is that the iPhone 9S? I really like this space fighting game. How much of this game is going to be space fighting? I bet the whole thing. Look at this. Look at this. I can sit right here. There we go. Alright.
Is that our target?
Negative. This enemy is unrelated. Proposal: dispatch it as swiftly as possible.
You don't say.
Oh, what am I how am I supposed to dodge that?